celebrate anything with the Chicago.
That's right. That's right. I keep hearing this. I keep hearing the same thing from the faithful here, being that I'm a Knick fan and we're going on 40+ years. But the Cubs, it's over 100. So I guess you're right.
Oh yeah, Harry Carey once gave me a T-shirt that said probably summed it up pretty good, and I can still wear it today. He said anybody can have a bad century.
That's good.
And the Cubs certainly have, and they're going on century number 2. But I know today we're celebrating for the Make-A-Wish kids right there in South Florida, a very special item. And for folks listening in this morning, you may want to grab a piece of paper and a pen because I'll be giving out a toll-free number and a website in just a moment. How you can get your hands on something very historic. If you're a Heat fan, you're going to want to get this because it's the only basketball that'll be out there made by Spalding, the official NBA basketball, that's going to celebrate the back-to-back champions. It's $99. It's full size. It comes with all of these are individually numbered. Number 1 is going to go to the Miami Heat to put in their trophy case, so you can actually go down to the arena, see this next year, and say, hey, I own one. I have one in my house. Now, they're, again, like I said, they're $99. It has the official NBA Finals logo on it. It'll say NBA champions on one of the white panels. It's got the previous 2 NBA championships listed right on there from 2005 and, of course, last year. And it's also got a little section on there that says Road to the NBA Finals, where all the results of series this year, series by series, is listed there. And, of course, capped off with a big win against the Spurs. So if you want to go ahead and help out Make-A-Wish children, and these kids have really, really some tough times. They've had some life-threatening medical conditions, and the monies we raise from this project will go to get wishes granted for the Make-A-Wish kids just in South Florida. I want to make sure people know the money is only going to stay in South Florida. You can call this morning to order these officially licensed Miami Heat NBA championship basketballs made by Spalding. They're $99. You can call this morning, 1-800-345-2868. Again, that's a toll-free number, 1-800-345-2868. If you can't get through the line, because I know they're going to be jam-packed, and we're announcing this for the first time this morning on your show, you can also go to the website that we set up at NICO sports.com, and you spell that NIKCO sports.com. And Sid, I want to emphasize, only 5,000 of these will ever be made. We sold out last year within about 3 days, and I'm sure we'll do this again because the back-to-back championships don't happen very often.
Yeah, listen, I've got in my house right now, I've got the Eli Manning football when the Giants won the Super Bowl 2 years ago from you guys for the Make-A-Wish. I've got the Dolphin undefeated 1972 football. I've got the Heat basketball from last year when they won the whole thing. I've got even a Baltimore Raven over 49er football in my son Gabriel's room from this year. I do. I mean, your stuff is just so good. It's pretty. It's worth something. And now tell me this. Maybe I'm reading this incorrectly before I let you run. Can you also, for a little more money than the really, really inexpensive $99 to buy the ball, can you also pay to have it personally autographed by Dwayne Wade? Am I reading that correctly?
That's correct, yes. When you call in that 800 number that I just gave out, the 800-345-2868, you can ask the people who were taking the phone calls. You could upgrade the ball and get it also autographed by Dwayne Wade.
So D Wade, who is a very charitable and a good man, yes, celebrating his 3rd championship, mind you, won more than James and Bosch. He's obviously on board with this and one of the catalysts. Is that right?
That's right. You know, we've worked with him before in the past. It's been a lot of fun working with not only D Wade, but some of the other folks that I've known in the organization over the years. And it's just, it's a really nice piece of memorabilia. One of the thoughts I'll put out there for if you're a corporation or an owner of a company listening in, you get hit up, I know, like I do, with a lot of requests for golf tournaments, silent auction items, charitable items. Yeah. I work a lot with Dick Vitale up here for the V Foundation. And I know you know Dickie V. And
very well.
We've raised over $2 million just in the last couple of years for the V Foundation, and over $11 million in 10 years. They take some of these items and put them up for bid at silent auctions, and these things bring in $1,000 or more. So
I would think so. Yeah,
it's a great idea if you want to get a couple extra of these and use them for those kind of purposes for church groups or whatever, school groups. You can raise additional monies.
All right, so there it is, folks. It is the Miami Heat 2013 NBA Champs Limited Edition basketball. I've got tons of this stuff in my house. It is the best, the prettiest, the nicest, the most noteworthy memorabilia I've got. It is the ball that represents the two-time champs. The money goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation only here in South Florida. The money stays home right in our own backyard. The number one more time is 1-800-345-2868. That's 1-800-345-2868. Or you can head online to Nico Sports. That's NIKCO Sports.com. NicoSports.com. And add this to your already rich memorabilia collection and do it for a good cause. Bob Ibach, as always, wonderful having you on. You're a good man, always raising money for good causes. And best of luck with this, pal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a pleasant weekend, and we'll chat with you again on Monday and kind of give everybody a little update. We hopefully you can sell it out by the end of the day Monday.
Sounds good. Well, it's not going to be a pleasant weekend because I'm miserable the Heat won. I mean, I want people to buy the basketball because it goes to a great cause, and I'm going to have it too because once I bring you on, I get it for free. That's a fact. And it looks kind of cool in my den, but I am not one of the few people. Many people are not happy the Heat won, but I'm maybe the only local radio host in town that is not reveling and celebrating and, lathered in my own sperm.
Oh, that would be safe to say.
Yeah. Well, just for today, it's safe to say. 888-640-9385. Back after this.
It's a Miami Heat Morning After with Sid Rosenberg on 640 Sports.
Are people after today going to stop saying LeBron James isn't clutch?
It's over.
Are people going to leave him alone now?
You can't scrutinize him no more.
Okay.
You can't talk about his legacy no more. Only thing left for LeBron is where is he going to finish? Will he become the greatest that's ever played? Can he get up to that Michael Jordan level? Past Kobe Bryant, those type of guys. That's what's left for him. This guy is the greatest player in the world, and he proved it again tonight.
All I know is they didn't give out the MVP for finals when Bill Russell played. But the only other two players that have won 2 finals MVPs and 4 regular season MVPs are Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and LeBron James.
That's right.
He's a pretty good player.
Before I get to the Heat haters on the phones, George and Scott and Todd, all you guys, there has been an arrest warrant now issued for New England Patriot star tight end Aaron Hernandez. This guy's a moron. Not only does he kill somebody, which is, I don't recommend that, shoot a guy in the face and take his eyeball out here at Tootsie's in South Florida, but after he kills the guy in his own house, I guess, he destroys all of the surveillance cameras, his own cell phone. He makes it so obvious he's guilty that he should get the death penalty just for stupidity. Let's go to Dan Abrams right now and Josh Elliott on Good Morning America. An arrest warrant has been issued for Aaron Hernandez.
Accused of shooting a guy in the eye? I mean, that's got to be something that the authorities are going to be looking at in connection with this case. And certainly if there was a trial, you can use patterns of behavior at times as evidence. But no question, his past skirmishes with the law, whether he got arrested, didn't get arrested, are very front and center in the minds of the investigators who are looking at this case.
So they're building a case, if nothing else, perhaps on a more serious charge. The next step then is what?
They have to gather additional evidence here, meaning they have to try and potentially link him to the victim. They say he was seen with him. He was maybe the last person to be with him. His girlfriend, Hernandez's girlfriend, was apparently the sister of the victim, was dating the victim's girlfriend. So there are connections here that I think they're going to continue to look at.
And so they shall, again, Dan, not the last week.
I mean, thank you. They knew it coming out of Florida. All kinds of articles in today's Boston Globe. Dan Shaughnessy, a very good writer. In fact, his book on Terry Francona is absolutely terrific. Writing stories that the Pats knew exactly what they were doing. They drafted Hernandez out of Florida, a Gator, and he was a bad guy. Bad guy. They knew it. This idea that the Belichick and the Pats only take, character guys. They just picked up Tim Tebow, mind you, is a myth. Now, they knew he was a bad guy. They knew they were going to have to deal with something, and now they're dealing with a guy that, you're talking about 2 or 3 different incidents, shot a guy in the face, took his eyeball out. and potentially murdered somebody. He also had a cleaning crew come to his house and bleach the whole damn place, which says that he removed blood, obviously. So it looks to me an arrest warrant has been issued, and it looks to me like Patriot star tight end Aaron Hernandez will not be catching passes much longer for Tom Brady. Instead, will be taking it in the rump from Bubba.
Looks like we're going to see a little Tim Tebow this season, tight end.
Maybe so. Gronk is drunk and hurt, and the other kid is going to jail for murder. That's quite a tight end combination. Here's George in Miami. Hello, Georgie.
Well, this electronic and print media in this country that's salivating over LeBron James. What series did I watch? All I saw in Game 6 with 2 minutes to go was a massive brick. They had to replace the bank board. And it was just good fortune that the ball came back to him. And Greg Popovich is a complete moron. How about 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes by LeBrick James? I do not understand this electronic and print media. It's love fest. This guy, the last 2 minutes of Game 6, played as bad as anyone I've ever seen in NBA history.
That's true. You can't argue that. That's true. But for the 10 minutes prior, he saved the game and won the game. And how do you argue, George? And listen, I know you hate the Heat, and that's fine. I love that.
No, I don't.
But the fact is the guy was brilliant yesterday. That was a Game 7 performance for the ages.
All right, can I bring up another topic that's absolutely, to me, the biggest sports story in the history of college football?
College football? Go ahead.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Oregon and LSU, the last 3 years, 4 losses. Stanford and Alabama, 5 losses.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stanford loses 8 NFL players every year that can't get in academically. They would have the biggest dynasty in the history of sports if they had the same criteria that Nick Saban had at Alabama, where if you spell cat, C-A-T, you get in. Let's get over this love fest for Nick Saban. He has a different criteria of academics to get in.
Let me get this straight now, George. I love you, pal. Thank you for the phone call. You want to tear down LeBron after, and I've been critical of LeBron in the past, but that's over, after an unbelievable Game 7. Look, I'm not celebrating the Heat today. I don't like them. But I can't sit here and tell you he didn't do an unbelievable job. That would just be stupid. So you want to tear down LeBron James after a Game 7 for the ages, winning his second straight championship, and then Nick Saban, who, like him or not, has distinguished himself as the best modern-day college football coach by a distance. Sorry, Urban Meyer. And right there in the pantheon of all-time greats with all those great Notre Dame coaches and Woody Hayes and Bear Bryant. So you want to come on today and rip apart LeBron James and Nick Saban. What's next? There is no Santa Claus?
It's a Miami Heat Morning After with Sid Rosenberg. Bang! On 640 Sports.
Chalmers inbounding. Duncan's denying LeBron. Chalmers on the run across midcourt with 1. Pulls up from 35 and hits! Banked in a 3 and beat the clock! Mario Chalmers gives the Heat the lead! 2 future Hall of Famers matching up here. 2 Finals MVPs. James between the legs. Pulls up for the jumper and hits.
If Wade can score, I can score. They're both 10 for 19 from the floor.
And Greg Popovich takes timeout. Here are the Heat on the run with James. Attacks the basket at Leonard. Left side Battier. Loads for 3. Good again! 6 threes from Battier. Heat by 6. The clock says 4. The clock says 3. Back to back. They've done it again. Miami's Big 3. The NBA champions again. The Miami Heat have won the 2013 NBA title.
Absolute respect, and our hats go off to the San Antonio Spurs. It's a class organization, a championship organization. We have as much respect for them as anybody in this league, and that was the toughest series we've ever been in.
Last year when I was sitting up here with my first championship, I said it was the toughest thing I ever done. This year, I tell last year, he's absolutely wrong. This was the toughest championship right here between the two. I mean, everything that we've been through throughout this postseason, especially in this finals, we were scratching for our lives in Game 6. Down 5 with 28 seconds to go. And to be able to win that game and force a Game 7, just a true testament of our, perseverance and us being able to handle adversity throughout everything.
This is the sweetest one by far because of everything we've been through, everything I've been through individually. And to get here to this moment to have that kind of performance, that kind of game, help lead my team, special, man. So special.
Let me congratulate Mickey Arison and the Arison family, Pat Riley and the entire organization, Eric Spoelstra and the coaching staff, the extraordinary Heat players who demonstrated a tenacity and dedication that will long be remembered from this really extraordinary championship for the ages. And especially congratulations to the great fans of South Florida. Let's give them the trophy.
On the corner of Main Street, just trying to keep it in line. You say you want to move on, and you say I'm falling behind. Can you read my mind?
So on this horrible morning, and I mean horrible, we're the only show in town. Proud to say we're not celebrating this, as Imus would say, wretched and vile team and this horrible fan base. But there is a silver lining that it always takes.
There's always a silver lining.
Always. And we'll get to Joey and Bobby and all you guys on the phones. 888-640-9385. You're welcome to call in and celebrate, although we'd rather you wouldn't. And actually, the haters are doing a much better job today. There's always a silver lining, and Steven Zemock always seems to have it. So while we're playing that speech and Mickey Arison and the nonsense about the fans, the worst fans ever are here, but that's fine. They congratulated them last night. Zemock had some news about Mickey Arison that makes him likable to everybody.
Yeah, there's one positive out of this.
And I like Mickey, and I love Pat Riley. I like all of them. Donovan, listen, I said it, and I'll say it again. It is a class, top-notch organization from top to bottom. They win. They're great. It's not their fault that the fans are horrible, the dumbest and worst fans in the NBA, and it's a horrible sports town. It's not Miami's fault. They deserve to be in a better place, in a place where they actually have millions of people down a canyon and not 18 banging pots and pans. But it is what it is. But what is the good news about Mickey Arison?
Mickey Arison donates millions and millions of dollars a year to Israel.
Oh, my. How about that?
That is I'm talking like
and
10,
you would know this
million.
because your father at one point was the head of the whole Israeli army or something. Didn't he kill Idi Amin or something, your father?
Calm down. And his Mickey Arison's sister is, I think she's one of the, I don't know if she's the wealthiest, but she's in the top three.
How do you know this stuff?
She's one of the top three wealthiest women in the Middle East.
So this is what you know. Your dad says, don't hate the Heat because Mickey Arison gives money. He built schools in Tel Aviv, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
So will you root for the Heat now?
No.
You'd rather see less schools in Tel Aviv and the Heat not win, right?
That's a bad way to put it, yeah.
Here's Bobby in Deerfield. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Dick.
Hi, buddy.
How are you?
I'm well. How about you, sir?
Listen, I think LeBron James is an incredible person.
Yeah.
A fabulous, fabulous athlete.
Agreed.
But I have an award for all the Miami fans that I think you should present to them.
All right, an award for the Miami fans that Bobby from Deerfield would like to see me present. What would that award be, Robert?
You remember you did that remote over at the adult video store?
I do remember it very well, yes.
The Great American Dildo?
Well, it's actually called the Great American Challenge, but it is the largest and most uncomfortable-looking dildo I've ever seen. Yes, sir.
There you go. That's what the Miami fans deserve.
I like it. There it is. Bobby from Deerfield would like to see me present the Miami fans with the Great American Challenge. You know, we offered that thing for free that night. This was a Pete Leonard red light special. This is when Lapis said, we got to change some things around here. But we offered that thing for free. If a woman, it was on Valentine's Day, too. That was the beauty of that show. If a woman was going to come in and able to take the Great American Challenge and live to tell about it, but no one ever did. I don't believe anybody's even done it since. But that's not a bad idea. Present LeBron with the Great American Challenge. Not LeBron, the fans, I guess he said. You know, both. Joey and Boynton. Hello, Joey. Joe.
Jerry from Boynton. Hi, said.
Hi. How are you, pal?
I spoke to your intern a few moments ago, and I told him I wanted to speak about the New York Knicks. And he said, really?
Is this Jerry? Is this Jerry from Boynton?
Jerry from Boynton.
You're one of my favorite callers, Jerry. Good morning, pal.
Okay, but hi, I said. I'm as remorseful as you, but I just want to speak about our favorite team, the New York Knicks.
Yes.
And your intern said to mention on the air that he has a due like the shump. You know what I mean?
He does have a do like the shump, and he's actually wearing today because he knew I'd be upset and sitting shiver over this. He actually wore right. He's wearing a Shumper T-shirt today just to kind of get me out of my funk. So that's a good job out of Dave Fuchs.
I mean, that Shumps do. It gets taller every year. I love it. Sid, about our team, seriously speaking, do you know of any deals or any blockbusters that the Knicks have kind of hidden away that we don't know about, or
None.
you do?
None. There'll be zero.
Really?
I mean, I hate to say this while the Heat are celebrating a championship, but because this team is so cash-strapped, the Knicks, with the new CBA up against them, they literally have no ability to do anything. A little bit of wiggle room to maybe bring in an extra bench guy, but they are counting on Amari, believe it or not, Jerry, and thank you for the phone call, they are counting on Amari Stoudemire getting healthy in this offseason and returning to his all-star form and hopefully come back with Anthony Stoudemire returning to his all-star form and improved Shumpert. It's going to be the same team. So it's going to be another crappy year for us. Here's Carlos. Hello.
How are you, Sid?
Hi. How are you, sir?
Oh, pretty good. You holding the crying towel out for everybody today?
That's right.
Or what?
But that's what I'm here for today, because the rest of the day is going to be one big jerk-off celebration. So I'm here for the millions who live here that hate the Heat.
Uh-huh. Because everybody north of my house on the other side of the block can't stand the heat.
Is that true? Where do you live? Where do you live, Carlos?
I'm pretty close to Jupiter. I mean, around where your antenna is, Royal Palm, around there somewhere.
Is that right? I always say that, Carlos. I'm glad you called, because I try to explain to Andy and these people who think that all of South Florida loves the Heat. And I always tell them, once you get to like the middle of Fort Lauderdale and head north towards, North Broward and Palm Beach County, there's more Knick fans. They don't care about the Heat. You're in Palm Beach. They don't care about the Heat, do they?
Well, there are more fans than there were, let's say, 5 years ago.
Right.
But me personally, I watched them when they were scrimmaging for their first season.
Oh, you're a real fan. Listen, you are a real Heat fan, Carlos. I'll give you credit for that. Yes.
And for all of these people that are calling you from everywhere. It's nothing new, what's their problem? Just because they didn't get LeBron, so now they don't like the Heat?
Yes, that's basically it. I don't know what it is. Who knows? Maybe it's the Heat were pretty arrogant and smug throughout this whole thing. There was plenty of articles detailing that. Certainly the hosts and the media and the people down here are impossible. The fans are awful, and they leave early, and they have big mouths, and there's a lot of reasons not to like them. I know that sounds impossible to the people that are here and love them, but there's a lot of reason not to like the Heat. A lot of reasons, and they're not bad guys. They're great guys. They looked all great last night. The kids up on stage. It was very, very nice. Ugh. But don't act like there's no reason not to like them. Not the guys personally. They're good guys, and as I said a million times today, it is a top-notch class organization. But once you get past that, there's no reason to like this team at all.
Well, that's when you get to the arrogance and the entitlement.
Right.
The egos.
Right. There was nobody there 4 years ago when they won 50. Say what you want. Oh, there's millions of more people, blah, blah, blah. The Knicks can stink. They're still going to sell the place out. Millions of people are not, because they love basketball. They'll come. During Isaiah Thomas's days, we couldn't win a game, and it's not because there are millions more people. It's because they love the game. They care. Here, come on, man, we're 4 years removed or whatever it is. During that 15-win season, there wasn't one phone call, nobody in the house. Now everybody's a rabid Heat fan. Stop. Come on, man. You can't fool me. Pile of crap lays in the middle of the street. You're going to tell me that's Godiva chocolate? It's duty. If it smells like duty and tastes like duty, guess what? It's duty.